There are only two ways to do things in life: voluntarily or because you're forced to. Government's the only institution in America that's allowed to use force, that has a legal right to make you do things. And everything government does, every regulation, every tax it imposes, is backed up by force or the threat of it in one form or another.
Sometimes the force comes in the form of a bulldozer. That's what's threatening this neighborhood in New Rochelle, New York. It's what you might call a mixed neighborhood. There are 2 thriving churches, 34 homes, 28 businesses. It's very diverse. People of different races live here in harmony. Residents told us they like their neighborhood the way it is.
We just like one big family there.
So what's the problem? Well, the problem is that city officials like the mayor don't like it.
No urban planner would ever design a neighborhood like that, with a house next to an industrial site, next to a bus depot. That's not a neighborhood, in my opinion.
The city's solution? Flatten the area and replace it with an IKEA furniture store. IKEA has to go away! Lots of people around here are not happy about that.
They want to put us out of our homes and business and destroy 2 churches so they can come in and sell furniture?
Well, yes. These people may have deeds for their homes and businesses, but government can still just kick them off their property by using a law called eminent domain, which means superior ownership. Officials can take over your property if they decide it serves what they consider to be the greater good.
The government first used eminent domain to get land for new highways, bridges, parks. This woman was literally dragged from her home to make room for a park in Virginia.
Thank you. Please be seated.
These days, however, government officials use eminent domain for all kinds of things to help private companies expand. Not just IKEA, but Kmart, Home Depot, baseball teams, shopping malls. When this shopping mall in Texas wanted to expand into that neighborhood, the town just ordered everyone out and had the entire neighborhood bulldozed. That's the plan for New Rochelle.
We have freedom, but where is the freedom? What freedom do we have when we have businesses that'll just come in and say, oh, you have to move? There is no freedom.
I have to move my city forward and renew areas that have fallen into disrepair and into blighted conditions. And I think the only way to do that in a city of this size is to be able to reorganize things a little bit.
What about freedom? The people there say they don't want to be reorganized.
I think there's a need to understand how government can improve its community.
Now, I have to say, I like IKEA stores. These are great things to have around. But should families be forced out to make room for them?
Is it right to tear people from their homes? Is that right?
Dominic Gadaletto's family has lived here since he was 2. He remembers his mother cooking pasta in the kitchen. In the same plot where his father used to grow tomatoes, Dominic now grows tomatoes. He and his wife Virginia wanted to leave the house to their children.
All the memories that I've had all these years, I've been there 67 years. You just don't wipe that away simply because a furniture store wants to come in. This is America? I don't think so.
You think of government, you think of government's there to help you.
They're not going to help you.
When they take your house, that's not a help.
They're not just going to take your house, they'll pay you for it.
What? Mister, you don't know what you're talking about.
She has a point. The city has to pay only what it says the homes are worth.
We're just asking them to move to a different site.
You're not asking people, you're telling them, move.
But we're going to try to find them adequate relocation headquarters.
I've never felt so powerless in my whole life. What's wrong with my American dream? Why is IKEA's American dream better than my American dream?
Because the politicians need to plan for everyone. They've decided a furniture store is what this town needs.
Is a furniture store today, and tomorrow what will it be? Right. Will it be your home? Whose house, whose business will be next?
Politicians assume they know best, so they have the right to use force to fix things.
Lie down! Hands behind your back!
It's threatening enough when government uses force in America. But the really big guns come out when government intervenes overseas. The Cold War may be over, but since then we've still sent soldiers to Somalia, Panama, Bosnia, and 100 other countries in the name of keeping the peace. Sometimes we seem to bomb first and ask questions later. We bombed this factory in Sudan.
It's a normal factory. There is no involvement of any army or any...
I scoffed when I heard this factory director's claims, but now our government admits at the time weapons were not produced there. Our interventions may even make America less safe, more vulnerable to terrorism, because they tend to make us new enemies. Most recently, we intervened in South America.
Today we are called upon to stand for democracy under attack in Colombia.
We're getting ready to start a war in Colombia. We just voted umpteen billions of dollars to go down there and get involved in a civil war that's been going on for 30 years. Who do you think lobbied for it? The people who build the helicopters and the people who own oil wells. They're the ones who lobbied and they won the vote easily. The president asked for so much money and it came to the House and we increased it.
Representative Ron Paul is a lonely voice in Congress. When bills pass 400 to 1, Paul's typically the one. He says he'll vote against funding of any government action beyond three basic functions: protecting our borders, keeping the peace at home, and running the courts. He says bills that go beyond that violate the Constitution.
You're often called Dr. No.
I'm saying no to those bills, but I'm saying yes to liberty.
Now, other politicians have talked about reducing the role of government.
Wherever waste is found, I will eliminate it.
It is time to quit putting good money into bad programs.
Our government is too big and it spends too much.
But the cuts almost never happen. Under every administration since Roosevelt, government's only grown, and you pay for it. When America began, government cost every citizen $20. Just $20 in today's money. Taxes rose during wars, but for most of the life of America, spending never exceeded a few $100s per person. Government did get much bigger during World War II. You paid $5,000 per person then. That was supposed to be temporary, but it wasn't. Government grew again, and now it charges each of us on average not $20 per year, but $10,000 per year. After all, the politicians say they need the money because government's so busy. It has to do so much.
We need these things.
What should government do?
Government should do what it's appointed to do, namely to protect our rights. When criminals attack us and when foreign aggressors attack us, then the government rises and does its job of protecting our rights. And government would do a very nice thing to us if it just kept to that job. And it would do it much better if it didn't do all this other stuff that it's gotten its nose into.
Will that ever happen? I doubt it. As Thomas Jefferson warned, the natural progress of things is for government to gain and liberty to yield. The choice is up to you. That's our broadcast. Thanks for watching. I'm John Stossel. Good night.